So we'll be looking at the fundamental updates for 5th of October 2025. If you've been following my channel, you know I drop fundamental updates every single week and I prepare you for the week ahead. If you are joking on these updates, I suggest you take it very seriously because you can use this to understand the bias of the week and know how you position yourself for a profitable week. Now, first of all, we'll look at what happened previous week, and previous week was actually a very interesting week, right? First of all, I told you all that we are going to be having a rate policy on AUD, which was the first news on Tuesday, September 30th. And I told you all that it's going to come out neutral. Now, what did I say? If it come out neutral, AUD is going to be bullish, and that is exactly what happened. How did I take the trade? I took it on GBP AUD, and I made good profit from the market. Let's look at GBP AUD, right? Let's just look at it for a while. You can see this is the trade I took on GBP AUD, making good profit from the market, and this is how it played out, right? Perfectly at this zone. Let me see if I can get my own watch list, my own currency. Yes, this should be it. And this is simply how it played out. This is where the trade, this is where I took profit, but it kept on moving. This is a whole 90 pips profit from the news. Well, the news came out neutral. What does this mean? It just simply means that AUD economy is picking up. You see, first of all, they cut interest rate on AUD economy, saying that, oh, the economy is weak and, employment data is coming out weak, the inflation is dropping, so they cut interest rate. Now, all of a sudden, they had another rate meeting. Now, the rate meeting, the government said, oh, they don't see any reason to cut another interest rate. Why? Because the economy is picking up. And this gave AUD a bullish bias. So I priced in on Monday. I took the entry on Monday, and all of a sudden the trade played out all the way till Tuesday morning. That was when I was taking profit at 90 pips. You can see this is actually a very good trade, making me good win at the beginning of the month. You understand? At the beginning of the week, sorry. So this is actually a very good way to start my week. And also there was another analysis on AUD-JPY. This one was the one in which most of my students took on the macroeconomic channel, but I myself, I didn't take this one on the macroeconomics team. I didn't take this one, but trust me, you can only take trade like this based on fundamentals. So they priced in from here, and all of a sudden the market went all the way up here and they took profit. Well, that is just simply what it means by pricing in with the news. And the only way you can do this, right, is not just with technicals, right? Sometimes technicals, yes, it's just for entries, but we could tell that AUD is going to be strong. We were 98% certain that AUD was going to be strong if the rate cut should come out neutral. And exactly as I predicted, the rate cut came out neutral. I went all in on GBP AUD and I made my cool cash beginning of the week. How can you predict stuff like this? Well, you can only do that by understanding macroeconomics. I can tell you for a fact, macroeconomics is not something you find all traders learning. Most traders focus on technical analysis, but I've shown you, or I've given you all reasons why fundamental controls the market. 80% of the time, 20% technicals are just for entry. For me, I use technical analysis just for entry. My main analysis is fundamental analysis. I can tell you the direction of dollar. All you need to do is find a good technical entry for dollar. You understand? I don't look at, what is this trend in the 1 hour time frame, what is the trend in the 1 day time frame to determine the direction of dollar. No, it's fundamentals that will tell you the direction. And that is why most traders, 90% of traders are losing money. Why? Because they are using only technicals. But for the few who are using fundamentals, I can tell you for a fact, you're going to keep printing money in the long run. Now, in case you're interested in printing money like this, you cannot just do it by watching my YouTube video. Most times I will catch trade like this, but you wouldn't, right? Even though I give you the fundamental update. Why? Because I still go, after this update, I will still go and do my fundamental research. I will still understand what is happening on different currencies, and I will still find my entry. If you want to be able to do this as well, all you have to do is register for the macroeconomics training. You can see we are currently still at a discount. It's a 6 months training, but a lifetime mentorship. You'll be learning not only how to predict price movement on other currencies, you also be learning how to predict it on gold, right? You have people who trade gold in the macroeconomics class. You'll be catching trade like this. This is a trade I caught on CPI, a trade I caught on FOMC. You can see how fast it went to TP, right? You can only do this with fundamentals. You can see we're catching trade on economic uncertainty up to 2,400 pips on GBP JPY. Do you know how much that is? You can only do this with fundamentals. Technicals cannot give you this type of confidence. Do you understand? Also catching trades like on NFP, I've got so many trades on fundamental release. Do you understand? And you saw how fast they went. It's currently still at $41. The main price is $173. For those who want to see it in naira, is actually at 60,000 naira. The main price is 250,000 naira. So if you don't want to miss out on this discount, because I can assure you this discount is ending very soon. I can't be giving out this golden, information for this price. Understand? I'm going to close it very soon. But if you don't want to miss out on that, you know what to do. Text me up on WhatsApp. You should have my WhatsApp contact. If you don't have my WhatsApp contact, look for it in the YouTube channel description and text me up. Notify me that you're interested in this, and I will add you to the class and I'll add you to the training. You'll be able to predict any fundamental release on any currency of your choice, both on gold, both on CAD, both on JPY, both on USD, any pairs. So that is just simply it, and that was how I made my first profit on a Monday. And I took profit on a Tuesday morning, right? I also sent the signals to the VIP signal members. Now, another prediction which we had, which was last week, we said that dollar was going to be bullish, but all of a sudden I sent an update telling you all that dollar is going to be bearish now. Why? Because we're having a government shutdown. Now, the government shutdown just simply means that the government cannot keep paying workers, right, in the federal environment, right? The healthcare services, the educational services. So all these workers, they went into strike, and this resulted to a risk-off environment. I explained this in my Telegram channel and on my status for those who are viewing and for those who are following up. So what happened? This resulted to a risk-off environment, and this made dollar to what? Be bearish. First of all, beginning of the week, dollar went all the way up. So we were looking at least a retracement if dollar should come to this key level, right? This was what we were looking at. We're looking at a retracement if dollar should come back to this key level. But I sent the update telling you all that this key level is not going to hold. Why? Because dollar is now what? Bearish. So due to the risks of environment, dollar kept on selling. Now, you see, whenever there's a risk of, whenever there's an uncertainty in a particular currency, that currency will be weak. You understand? That particular currency will be weak, and that is what happened to dollar. Dollar is actually a risk of currency. It's supposed to be bullish during times of economic uncertainty, but due to the fact that it's the economy that the uncertainty is affecting, dollar, USD is the economy, US is the economy that the uncertainty is affecting, is going to make the particular currency weak. And you can see that is the same thing that happened to the tariff, and you can see that is the same thing that's happening to dollar right now. We saw a huge spike on Thursday, but I told you all that people should not be scared. That is just the market coming to sweep liquidity and keep going. And that is simply my prediction. I'll be giving you all prediction for this week, but for now we're just looking at how last week played out. Did I take a trade on this? Absolutely yes. I took a trade on Euro USD, and I made up to 60 pips from it. A very, very good entry. Now, this was simply based on fundamentals. I can assure you that, simply based on fundamentals, and I used technicals to find my entry. Very, very good trade. I took it from here. I sent the signal to the signal channel as well. We risked only 13 pips to make 60 pips. That is a very, very good trade, and I closed in my both accounts in huge amount of profits, only with fundamentals. Do you understand? Fundamentals can only give you the bias. But at the beginning of the week, remember, this technically was looking like a sell. It was looking like a sell technically, but all of a sudden we changed bias and we made profit from it. Thank God I closed early, because all of a sudden we saw a retracement. That is why you shouldn't be greedy. I've explained this when it comes to psychology. You shouldn't be greedy. 60 pips, 50 pips, take your profit, because you don't know if the market is going to retrace. You also had another trade on GBP USD, but a sharp retracement came in. I took this based on London section open, but all of a sudden a sharp retracement came in, and well, most of us closed in partial profits, but a lot of us we went out on an SL. But that is just simply it. That is simply it. But this retracement doesn't mean that GBP is now selling. No, I can assure you that it's still bullish. It's still going to be bullish. Do you understand? It still have possibility of buying, and I will give you all the updates for this week. For now, let's just keep looking at what happened last week. Another surprising fact that happened was like the NFP data, which was supposed to come out every first Friday of the month, did not come out. Why didn't this come out? Well, like I told you, the government shutdown means that workers are not being paid. So people who releases the data on NFP, people who release the data on the economic indicators, they weren't ready to work. Why? Because the government weren't willing to pay them. So due to the government shutdown, they did not release the important data, and this made a very, very huge uncertainty in the market. You understand? But the ISM service PMI came out, and which it came out lower than expected, and this gave more room for a Fed rate cut. Now, the Fed rate cut, you already know what happened the last time I told you all that USD was having a Fed rate cut. We're about to have that Fed rate cut again. What does this mean? It means that dollar is going to be weak. You understand? Dollar is going to be weak. Now, let's go over to the fundamental update for this week. Like I said, dollar is going to be weak. We're expecting a rate cut in dollar. And if this rate cut should start pricing in from now, remember, based on rumors, dollar is meant to keep selling from this zone. You understand? I'm seeing a very, very good, opportunity for a sell on some of the currencies, and I'll show you all some of them. You can see, so I'm expecting a good retracement. If dollar should retrace, sometimes dollar might want to sweep liquidity and come all the way back to this high before retracing. But all I can tell you is that dollar is meant to keep selling. Any fundamental updates that will change the direction of dollar, I would inform you all in my Telegram channel, and those who have my contact, I will also be sending it on my status. But for now, the prediction on dollar is that we're expecting another rate cut due to the fact that the economy is not picking up. Everything is still looking weak. So we're pricing in for another rate cut, which might eventually happen this month. So you can see dollar is meant to keep selling. Let's go back to the 4 hours time frame and see how that looks. You can see this is still a beautiful trend in which the market is still respecting. So nothing big, nothing there. We can just keep trading for a sell on dollar. Now, what is my prediction? Due to the fact that we are on a risk-off environment and dollar is selling, what will happen to JPY? Now, JXY, like I said last week, I updated my students. I told you all that JXY is now bullish. Why? Because we are in a risk-off environment. Now, one thing about JPY pairs is that once JPY is in a risk-off environment, once we are in a risk-off environment, JPY strengthens. So any pair that have JPY at the back is going to be selling. You understand? Any pair that have JPY at the back is going to be selling. So that was why GBP JPY sold massively. That was why what they call it, CAD JPY sold massively. This is a huge sell. I wish I actually caught this trade. This would have been a very, very good sell, a very, very good sell from here. I did not see that coming. If not, I would have actually caught the trade, giving up to 200 pips down on this. Wow, very sweet trade. Understand? So the sell might still continue this week, possibly if the government shutdown should continue. You understand? You can see the massive sell on CAD JPY as well. I had an entry on CAD JPY, but unfortunately the market did not tag us in. We missed the trade. You can see this is a very, very, oh my god, a very, very good sell, only waiting for the market to just retrace, and all of a sudden we didn't get that retracement and the market just kept on dumping massively. Why? Because we're in a risk-off environment. JPY is strong. USD JPY is still on a sell, massive sell, but for now I can see a good retracement. If this retracement should hold, I'll be looking for a sell entry from here. Obviously, I'll be keeping my students updated and VIP members updated as well. For those who are my non-students, you have to be finding entries yourself. The only thing I can help you out with is the fundamental update. So the JPY is meant to be weak. USD JPY is meant to keep selling. You find your entries from there. AUD JPY as well. I'm predicting a sell too on this. Why? Because I'm not really looking at AUD this week. Just JPY and USD. That is my main focus. So I'm predicting a sell on this. For GBP USD, obviously I'm still looking at a buy. We missed a buy on Friday, which was a very heartbreaking entry. On Friday, would have taken this on, at least cut this on a ride, but I was too focused on Euro USD. If not, I would have taken this trade and I would have made my sweet clean profits on a Friday, ending the week in massive profit. But who knows, I still made a lot of profit last week, so even if I missed this, I wasn't really moved by it. But that is just another good opportunity in which I would have taken. All I'm just trying to tell you is that my prediction on GBP USD is that GBP USD is meant to keep buying as long as USD is weak. You understand? For gold, for the gold lovers, so now gold will just keep going up. Gold is a risk-off commodity, which means that during times of economic uncertainty, gold is meant to keep buying. gold is meant to keep skyrocketing. You understand? The growth on gold will just keep buying. Now it's not just buying because it's gold, no, it's buying because of the risks of environment. Once it should end, once everything start looking good, once dollar starts picking up, gold will actually start selling. So for those who say just buy gold, you don't just buy gold for no reason. You buy gold for a reason. Fundamentally, the only reason why gold is going up is because fundamentally we're in a risk of environment. So all those people I see on Twitter, on all those traders that are saying just buy gold, you don't just buy gold. Gold can still sell. I can show you case scenarios where gold sold. You understand? We still had times when gold were selling massively, right? Let me show you, right? I know it might be a long period of time, but you can see this was a massive sell on gold. This was a massive sell on gold. So if you're just saying just buy gold, you don't know when gold will start selling. And if you're just buying gold, let's say you just bought gold here, right? You just bought gold here. Gold would have sold and disappointed you. So you have to know when gold is going to buy. You have to know when the retracement is coming to continue the buy. You can see this is a huge buy. The only one I caught was this one. After that, I couldn't even catch another retracement. Gold will just keep buying due to the fact that we are in a risk of environment. So that is simply it for this week. Any important thing happening this week, let us look at the economic data and look at it. So any important news are we going to focus on? Well, we are going to be looking at unemployment claims on USD, which is important, right? So we're going to be looking at GBP is going to actually give us a spike if this news should come out important on Monday, 6:30 p.m. We should be having a speech on GBP, which is supposed to give us a spike. Apart from that, is there any news that's actually important? Well, unemployment rate, non-farm payroll change. Maybe the news on NFP might actually come out on Friday, 10th of October. So let's see how it goes. If it comes out on Friday, is going to affect the market. But for now, the FOMC meeting too, yes, it's actually very, very important. News I've listed. I hope you're taking note of that. I've listed most of the news that will affect the market. Not all these red folders will affect the market. By now you should know that, right? Not all these red folders will affect the market. So that is the fundamental update for this week. I hope I explained the important concept. Government shutdown, risks of environment, dollar bearish, JPY bullish. You understand? I'll be finding entries mostly on USD and JPY pairs. And if any of this news should affect that sentiment, I'll be sending most of the updates to my students and to my macroeconomics team. In case you're interested in being one of us, you know what to do. Well, with that being said, I hope you understood everything I said, and for now, have a lovely trading week.